young age. In fact, I remember one of my aunties, she was coming back to Ghana. So I was about 3 or 4 years old at the time, and we took her to the Freeport. And they allowed the kids to embark the vessel, as a way of saying farewell. And I remember looking across the ocean and thinking, my God, within a couple of days, she will be in another country. And I wanted, I see the picture.
Yeah, those are pictures of you. Where was that? Is that Liberia?
No, that was right here in Ghana.
No, this one. I'm talking about this one.
In the outfit?
Yes.
Oh, that was here in Ghana.
Oh.
Yesterday, in fact. So.
This was also in Ghana?
No, this was in the U.S. Yeah. So this was in the Canadair regional jet, which is a commercial jet that I fly.
Okay.
Yes, and that was in the Huey. So prior to flying the Black Hawk, I flew the Huey helicopter, and that's an aircraft that was used for years during the Vietnam era. And for some of us, the younger generation, we were kind of the last ones to be able to fly that aircraft before it was retired. And then we got boosted into the Black Hawk.
Okay. So you were telling me about how your dream started.
Exactly. So I remember being at the Freeport and looking across the ocean and thinking that one day I would like that freedom of being able to travel and be someplace else. But I was a little bit afraid of the sea, so I didn't want to do it by sea. So I thought, I want to be a pilot. And I remember saying that to my mother, my father, my teachers, and everyone when I was growing up. And they thought I was maybe a little off because that was not the customary ambition for a young girl.
It was male-dominated at the time.
Exactly. And especially in Liberia, right, where I didn't have any role models. I didn't see other pilots, much less female pilots, to be able to say, okay, I can follow this example. But that dream never died. And so later on, when I went to the U.S., I still remained resilient in that this is what I wanted to do. So even as I went through my undergraduate studies, I knew I had to come back into aviation. So my first degree was non-aviation related, but the passion to fly was just always there. And so I began taking flight lessons, eventually became a flight instructor in the U.S., so I am actually able to train other pilots, and maybe one day I'll get to train pilots here in Ghana too.
Hopefully, and I look forward to that.
Yes.
But when all of that was going on, and I mean, considering the fact that it's also a male-dominated field,
right?
Where were the key challenges you faced at the time?
I think my challenge was not any different than perhaps a lot of the challenges that I know that women even here in Ghana and Liberia face. For example, being in a male-dominated career or center, so to speak, and being the only female, at times you're expected to either be like one of the guys or to kind of conform to some of the norms that young men tend to have that are not necessarily in the interest of women, the kind of norms that we mothers speak to our daughters about, to say, hey, guard yourself, respect yourself, understand that you can excel without having to play into what a man may want you to play into. So I definitely faced those challenges. But my mind was so focused and driven, and perhaps maybe because I was coming from, as the granddaughter of a woman who was baking kenkey to sell, right? And living in poverty. So I didn't have a privileged background. And so because I had to work so hard, it was so important to me that I stay focused. So I was not deterred, and I was not distracted by perhaps what my male counterparts, may have been more interested in, because I was going to be a pilot. In fact, I remember when I first started applying for the position to fly within the military, there's also another position where you're called the navigator. So it's sort of like the backseater. And I got more offers to fly in that position than I did as the operator of the aircraft, as the pilot. And I had to respectfully turn that offer down. I specifically remember to one of the generals one time, and I said, sir, my dream has always been to be a pilot. And if I deviate from this dream now to take the navigator slot, there's no telling how many other dreams I will deviate from in the future. And so I turned it down, and I just kept looking. I kept applying to other units. And most times, you know what? There were openings in the unit, but what would happen is when you arrive as who you are, right?
Yeah.
I am Ellen, I am this color, I have this background. And when you arrive as yourself, you're sometimes told, oh, we just filled the position, you know. Meanwhile, the position is still open, or another person filled it, and you're looking at them like, but this person has, you know, they don't look like they have full vision, because there were certain criteria too that you had to meet, but yet and still they were given that privilege more so than a person like me coming from a Ghanaian or an African background.
Right.
But I stuck with it.
Yeah. Now, you are a daughter of the soil.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the fact that, as we speak, Ghana cannot boast of a national airliner?
I think all of that will come. Part of my study at MIT, we have what we call the Global Airline Institute at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And I was able to take some classes there while I was working on my business degree there. And, you know, for an airline to operate well, it takes an intense amount of capital. And Ghana is building. We have certain priorities right now in the country. It would be great if we had an airline. I remember back in the day when we had Ghana Airways. Right, and that was wonderful. So it's okay that we may not have a national airline right now. I think as leaders, if we remain focused, knowing that one step at a time, one of the phrases that we use in the military is to eat the elephant one piece at a time. And so when you have that big chunk, when you're looking at different economic sectors that you have to fulfill, healthcare sectors and so forth, an airline, it will be great, but it may not be the most important thing right now. I think when we can partner with others who may have airlines, right, we are still able to offer the services here. Another thing, even within the aviation industry that I see here in Ghana that I'm very proud of, is that we continue to open up the domestic sectors. Like you go to, what is Takoradi, Kumasi, other cities around Ghana, and you can take a flight. There are lots of countries where you cannot do that. If you're not hopping across the sea on a much bigger aircraft, you're not able to get on a plane. And the roads are usually not even that great. But in Ghana, Ghana is leading the way, and so little by little, Ghana will have an airline again.
Right. I tend to appreciate your optimistic, you know, how do I put it, posturing towards our aviation industry. But of course, a lot of people have expressed concerns about how that sector has been managed over the years. But let's move away from the aviation sector slightly and talk about your involvement with Liberia. We'll talk about your involvement in politics, the Liberian politics, but let's start with the aviation industry. So you became the managing director for the Liberian Airport Authority.
Yes.
What would you say was the highlight of your role within that capacity?
Within that capacity, my highlight was actually working with the people, the local people at the airport, in the local community that kind of supported a lot of the airport work.
Right.
And what I mean specifically by that is, yes, we can get dressed in the morning, go to our big jobs and so forth. But you know what, though? There were a lot of women, men, a lot of them even older than me, who worked, whether they were cleaning the airport, cutting the grass, anything, but they were behind on their pay, maybe not having gotten paid for 3 months. And then when you looked at the salary, they were getting about $50 US a month, and then being 3 months behind on pay. How do you buy a bag of rice or fresh vegetables? And you know, for our people, even when you buy within your household, you're also sending money up into the villages to the rest of your family because it's expected and they're looking up to you. And that's great because that's how we are. That's how our communities are. And so the highlight was being able to raise the pay for those people. I doubled their pay within the first 2 months of being there, and then also making sure that they got paid. Because if I had the ability to buy milk or juice for my children, I wanted for them to also be able to have that ability. Because it is, I mean, let's talk about fairness and just human dignity and respecting each other. So it's not about our education or where we went to school or what kind of cars we can drive, but rather, how do we view the people around us? Because for us to succeed, it takes everyone else that is around us. So that was my highlight, was being able to help to elevate the people in the community.
It's interesting you talk about pay rise and all of that. Before this interview, I had to communicate with a few people in Liberia to tell me a lot more about you. And the crux of all that I got was that all the things you talked about was done in the spirit of lack of accountability. For instance, we know that you were indicted as having embezzled thousands of dollars belonging to the Liberian government.
Exactly.
What is your defense?
You know, I think when we live in a country where the justice systems has so many cracks in it, on paper, they may say we are a democratic nation. But when you have one branch of government acting as all three, for example, in this case, the executive branch acting as both the judiciary branch and the legislative branch, it makes it very difficult for the citizens. However, because of my own training, my resilience, I mean, for a young girl to even dream of being a pilot in an environment like growing up in Liberia, it obviously took a lot of courage. So despite the adversities that I faced in that role, because of the fact that I spoke up for the people, because of the fact that I said, no, they too have to get paid. And also holding my senior authority, right, holding them accountable, they didn't like that. So they even threatened me in writing that, hey, if you're not quiet about this, or quiet about some of the things that were going on, we will indict you.
I got the understanding that it was after you were indicted that you came out with those secret recordings, for instance, indicting the president who actually, we understand, brought you into the country, other top government officials. And so for a lot of people, for a lot of Liberians who feel that you need to face the Liberian justice system, they reckon that all this bit about secret recordings was an escapade to either divert public attention from your case or to evoke public sentiment in your favor.
And that was actually not the case, because the recordings, first of all, took place while I was in the country. So, and I actually released the recordings, not all of them, because I had a bunch of
What
recordings.
was the content
of
the recording?
The first one that I released had to do with the board president, who was also one of the people that worked with the country's president, right? And in terms of, and then in particular, the defense minister of Liberia, where he revealed to me that part of the concerns that they had, because they were bringing different contracts that they wanted me to sign, it required my signature. So in order for me to sign it, I was asking questions like, what are the details of this? How does it benefit Liberia? How does it benefit the Liberian people? And it told me, don't bring all that Harvard negotiation here. we do business a different way here.
Right.
And so I spoke with Minister Samakai, who was the defense minister at the time, and I said, I don't know why this is going on, but can you give me some insight? And he said, Ellen, and this is one of the recordings, that the reason this is going on is because the government of Liberia is expecting $130 million from Equatorial Guinea. And they're trying to bring that money across like it's being for the airport, when in fact it is not. And they're afraid that you're not going to sign on. So that was one of the recordings that came out. And so as other recordings began to come out, it made the president afraid. And so I got an email from them telling me that if I wasn't quiet, they were going to take legal actions against me. And to this, They were ceasing the justice minister.
But Ellen, you had all these recordings before your indictment. Why did you have to wait for you to be indicted before you go public to say that, you know what, these officials have embezzled funds, and of course we needed to take them on, and I'm being witch hunted and all of that?
Well, that's what I'm telling you, though. The indictment, I read about the indictment. I've never actually been served, right? But I read about it, I believe it was July 1st, or right around that time in, or maybe the end of July in 2013. The first recording that I released was in January of the same year. So they were released before that.
Okay.
Yes.
But what necessitated your decision to move to the U.S.? Because I know that a lot of attempts were made by the Liberian government to get you extradited. Why did you leave Liberia?
Actually, I was helped by the National Director of Police, because he was part of some national conversations at a much higher level as to what their plans were. And so to this, he told me about this, and he made some very high-level calls, I won't say who, to help me to leave the country. Because who knows what would have happened. When we look at even recent history in Liberia, there have been some injustice killings of people that the government were afraid of that would bring information forward. So I am so grateful to God, to the Chief of Police, Massaquoi, in Liberia, and to everyone else who were able to help me, and God first, that I can still be here today to speak on it. And to add to that, I want our people to know, whether it's people in Ghana, Liberia, and so forth, that we do have a human rights court at ECOWAS. That was not always the case. I think it's more recent, maybe within the last, probably within a decade, but I'm not exactly sure. And this court is open so that citizens here in Ghana, Liberia, Guinea, Sierra Leone, wherever, where if you are experiencing some kind of injustice, you're able to go to this independent body. They don't charge anything to file your case with them. They are there to help with these kinds of cases where maybe a much higher leadership role within that country that has total control over the judiciary branch and so forth, and you're not able to properly access your local court system, that you can now get help within ECOWAS. So I think this is another step forward that we as West Africans are making. And so I want to encourage everyone, whether here in Ghana and other countries, that you use this court. And again, there is no cost to it, and to make it very accessible to anyone, no matter which village or anywhere you're coming from or city, that you can have access to proper justice within the ECOWAS court.
Right. And so the case is still with the ECOWAS court?
It is with ECOWAS.
It hasn't seen closure yet?
No, in fact, they just had a turnover of justices. And so, no, we have not been able to settle the case yet. And let me make one thing clear in addition to this.
Right.
This case started with the previous administration. President Weah is not a part of this. I don't believe he has any interest in prosecuting this case.
But the state has an interest, and it is his government that is in charge now.
Yeah, but what I want to say, when you are in a country where you have a president or the top leadership that decides that they can abuse the sovereignty of that nation to where they are taking control of all three branches of the government, the court may not be properly exercising in the interest of everyone. They will be exercising based on who is informing them, who is paying them, and so forth. I wasn't a part of being in the country and at that top level in the government. I happen to be a victim, and I'm not the only victim. I just happen to be afforded the platform to be able to speak on this. And so I want to impress on everyone, whether in Liberia or Ghana and so forth, it doesn't matter. Even if you're being accused of something, irrespective of which level it's coming from, hold true to your own conviction, number one, and seek justice, even if you have to seek justice in the ECOWAS court.
Right. What do you make of comments that you have actually blocked the chances of other diaspora Liberians from holding public office and serving the country because of the scandal? And in fact, in the annual address of Mr. Weah, I'm sure you heard. Let me just quote exactly what he said for the sake of our viewers. He says, when Ellen Corcoran, a diaspora Liberian, squandered hundreds of thousands at the Liberia Airport Authority, it sparked distrust in Liberians about people with dual citizenship. She was indicted for theft of property and economic sabotage in line with a deal that was intended to revamp the country's lone international airport, which is the Robert International Airport, which was devastated by the civil war. Corcoran fled the country and could not be prosecuted or extradited because she had an American citizenship. How do you react to this?
I think, number one, we know very well that the U.S. government is not a government that will support criminals, whether you're in the country or outside of the country. And so when you have these kinds of cases that come up, I think governments and other officials, they have a clue. They know what's going on in the country. When you also have a country like Liberia, unfortunately, not in terms of holding the people accountable for this, right, as in the citizens, but this is unfortunately just where Liberia falls in terms of being so high on a corruption list, ranked number 2 globally for corruption. The rest of the world takes, they're concerned about that and they're aware of it. And so even if a government led by a president who may have personal interest in why they may want to indict someone, when that comes up, America stands firm and strong on protecting citizens of the world. Ghana does the same thing. There are lots of nations that do that. And one day Liberia too will get to that place. So for now, I find myself in a position where I'm having to represent a lot of people who are suffering from injustices. And so I'm able to speak on it. And that is one of the things that I'm really grateful for.
Well, the question I ask is, do you reckon or do you agree that your scandal has actually made dual citizenship in Liberia a bad thing?
Liberia Constitution never allowed for dual citizenship, period. And so that has been from the onset, considering the colonization of the country. So when we were colonized with the coming back of free slaves from the U.S., there were concerns, of course, that if you have non-Liberians who will become citizens, then they may take over the economy, just kind of, and again, begin to enslave people. I think at some point we will move to a place where there will be dual citizenship. I don't think this case has anything to do with what happens with that. I also feel like as Liberians, we still need to be cautious in how we come about with whether or not dual citizenship will be allowed at this point.
Okay.
The reason I say that is, when you look at Ghana, for example, I know a lot of people, yes, of course, they are struggling in Ghana, but what Ghana is doing well. They're doing much better than a lot of other countries, even in Africa. So as Liberians, we need to kind of model what Ghana is doing. We need to respect ourselves. We need to honor ourselves as the citizens of our own country, take leadership in our own businesses, entrepreneurship, and so forth, before we bring in foreigners to say that they too will now become a citizen of that nation.
Right.
Because it's just going to devastate the entire country.
Right. So just in case you just tuned in, this is Inside Out. And of course, I'm having a conversation with Ellen Corcoran. Just in case you don't know her, she's a female pilot. I mean, she's a former presidential candidate in Liberia. She's also a former and embattled MD of the Liberian Airport Authority, and so you can keep your questions and your comments coming in very fast. There you have her on your screen, a very brave woman, but of course she's had a very checkered career, and that's what we are talking about this morning. Now let's come back to your presidential ambition. You are a failed presidential candidate. I mean, you couldn't become the president of Liberia. Would you agree that the scandal contributed to your inability to win the heart of the people of Liberia?
Actually, I've never ran for president in Liberia. I have read the articles that I've been a candidate. I've also read the articles of many other things that I've been a
Because
part
it's
of.
on Wikipedia that you're a former presidential candidate in Liberia.
But I've never ran for president in Liberia. I
Have you
been
declared
asked-
intentions?
No, I have not. I have had people ask me, because of the fact that they felt like I stood up for them, they have asked me to consider running for president. That is not something that I have been able to do within my own capacity of what I've been doing in the United States and in other parts of the world. And so whether or not Liberia remains a place that I may run for president one day, I don't know. We'll see. And if I do, I want it to be God first. I want it to be led by God, bringing that decision to the people to say, hey, Ellen, we want to ask you to do this for us. And if this is well, I think I'll have the right guidance and leadership that I'll be able to excel at it. But to be correct, no, I've never run for president.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does Ellen want to be remembered for?
You know, when I think about that, last year I lost my sister here in Ghana. And I also lost my aunt. And my aunt was actually she was more like my friend than my auntie. And she too was also high achieving. And so when I reflect on the sudden loss of these two great women in my life, I find it more important to be a part of other people's lives and their achievements. So even if it's working with children or being able to work with giving guidance for young people and encouraging them so that they too can excel and hold firm in their beliefs, irrespective of what may be going on around them. I hope that I can be remembered for that.
Okay. Thank you very much. All the best in your endeavors, and thank you for also clarifying all the issues. I'm sure for those who had uncertainties on their minds, they've all been cleared. Thank you very much. So I have been speaking to Ellen Cockrum right here on Inside Out. The show continues.
Wake up to a brand new day. This morning, step in. Good morning. My strength to give me just what I need. And I can feel the whole.
When I'm down and I need something to cheer me out, well, it's an exclusive drink, vanilla flavored and so refreshing. Special malt. Special malt. Guess what? Special malt makes me feel okay. Special malt. Giving you in the system before drinking tea. Special malt. Special malt makes me feel okay. Special malt. So clean and smooth. Oh yeah, enjoy yourself. Special malt. Special malt makes me feel okay. Special malt. Guess what? Special malt makes me feel okay. Special malt. Giving you in the system before drinking tea. Special malt.
Special malt. Feel special.
This October, we sing to the heavens as the MTN stands in worship. It's been a great year, and we have every reason to go before the throne in thanksgiving. Come, let's worship our Maker as we are led in worship by great servants of God. The Venerable Pastor Joe Beecham, Yao Sapo, Joe Metal, Eugene Suter, Obapa Christie, Celestine Donko, Koda, Sammy Oposo from Nigeria, and from South Africa, Patrick Duncan. MTN stands in worship comes up on the 6th of October at the Fantasy Dome Trade Fair Center, Accra, at 6 p.m. sharp. Dial *711*85# to purchase your tickets via mobile money. Media partners. Join us, praise God, as we say thank you for how far He has brought us.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
In this part of the world, we're up long before the sun. Playing our part to make our world, our connections, and relationships a lot more brighter. They say agro beswa, ne free anopa. Start your day bright with MTN Kokroko. For only one Ghana cedi, you can enjoy 400 megabytes of data and 30 minutes of free MTN to MTN calls every day from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. everywhere you go. Dial *138# to buy the MTN Kokroko bundle now.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
www.ekurase.com. Na for me ensa eduane edidie ene anonomo www.ekurase.com. 3 days of locals and kote. Just Ekurase sem and Ekurase indiane and Ekurase ensa. Afiwe Ekurase.com official is baniye apanchin kakra. Ye here ni se bedu 2472 and Asante standard kwankwedu ase cocktail and mukasi buffet and say for toka pisho abe asana sobolo ashide ne etu so enje puff. Anatra www.ekurase.com. Ubetinam and asaberenam or cheese steak and kusie. Oyusuya and osrobo kebab. Akranti on cocktail, roasted enwa or pese barbecue and a jenny grill. 3 days continuous. Ekurase.com inti ye ribie dibianundi. Ekurase.com they happy for Fufu HQ. A secrom friend 0262 640 918 and 0554 834 944. Ekurase.com strictly made in Ghana food, 100% Ghanaian.
She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you. She tells him your life.
Staying fit is the best thing that can ever happen to you. I walk every day just to stay fit. How about you? How fit and healthy are you? Join me for the maiden edition of the Cheers Health Walk and Fun Games happening on the 6th of October, starting from GH1 TV through to Circle, to Ring Road and back to GH1 TV premises for the fun games from football, tennis, badminton, video games and many more. And I can assure you there are lots and lots of mouth-watering prizes for you. And the best part is the Wache party after the walk, where we get to refresh ourselves with the best Wache in town with your favorite GH1 TV presenters. So don't miss out on all this fun on the 6th of October, 6 a.m. sharp at GH1 TV.
Cheers Health Walk is proudly brought to you by Sultan Drinks, Voltic Naturally, Bull and Wood Merchandise, Bet Year 2, Wache Guy Guy, Paul's Fitness Rage Advantage managed by Eden Wellbeing Club, Decathlon, Oat Crunchies, Beautiful Beneath, A1 Bread, Publicom GH, Obaya's Touch, MC Catering Services, Warville Decor, and Number One Fan. For details, call 0501 567995 or 0509 035494.
Hello, you most welcome. Yes, you're on Revealed. My name is Bolare. Welcome back to what is going to be an outstanding third season of Revealed, with even more breathtaking locations, inspiring personalities, and the most exclusive experiences just for you, only on Revealed.
It's exhilarating, it's captivating, and it's going to be an amazing journey. Everybody, welcome to South Africa. We are here at the Seven Sisters Vineyards in Stellenbosch.
So here I've got a premium wine for you. This is
Beautiful.
John Brutus. This is a non-typical border blend.
And so this is the one that's named after your youngest brother.
That's
the
correct.
last born.
That's correct.
Welcome to our winery. Yeah, this is the production area where we will do the grape reception.
This is an honour and a pleasure to be trying this. One of the oldest bottle of wine in South Africa that was in the Indian Ocean for 3.5 years. Breathtaking horizons at Clan Dowsy Estate, right here in Stellenbosch. Pacific, what a warm welcome. Get ready for a regal and indulgent experience right here on board the Blue Train. This one right here has to be experienced personally. We are at the Orlando Towers in Soweto, and guess what? We're about to go all the way to the top, and I'm gonna jump just for you. Revealed is sponsored by Wines of South Africa, South African Tourism, South African Airways, Prime Insurance, Awake Purified Drinking Water, Storm Energy Drink, Dust Capital, and Golden Tree Chocolate. Revealed is proudly powered by Empire Protocol.
GH1 TV, your best experience.
All right, welcome back. You're still watching GH Today, and it's time for News Extra. My name is Anita Okuekufo, and this morning we're talking all about the Cheers Health Walk, and I've been joined in the studio by an array of fine gentlemen. And first off, we have Hakeem Ellis, Director of Echo Odell, distributors of salt and drinks, and we have Dr. Henry Agote, clinician in charge, Gilead Medical and Dental Center, and also Cleland Doe Sala, Corporate Communications Manager, CDH Investments Holdings, and then lastly, we have Bismarck Ken Tune, Trade Marketing Manager, Vortic Ghana. Gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you very
But
much.
how are you all doing this morning?
Very good.
Very good.
Outstanding.
Outstanding. I like that. Let me start with you, Hakeem.
All right.
What salt and drinks? Tell us about salt and drinks, because this is the first time I'm hearing of salt and drinks, thanks to the Cheers Health Walk.
Absolutely. We'd love to. First of all, thank you for this stage. We appreciate the offer to come on camera and express to you and the Ghanaian community what salt and drinks is all about and what our initiatives are towards the Cheers Health Walk. First of all, salt and drinks is a fusion of all natural ingredients.
Okay.
And it's also contains one of the old millennial ingredients, the black seed, which is very powerful and very, very, very nutritious as well.
Well, let me come to my gentleman in blue, Vortic Natural Mineral Water. Yes, you can take the microphone. Yeah. But why did Vortic decide to get on board?
So Vortic, we believe in a healthy populace. Over the years, what we have been providing is natural mineral water. So I like the fact that he said natural. So
yes.
Natural is the way to go. Everything natural is good. So we decided to be part of this so that people can keep their natural shape, people can be fit. Because if you are fit, you are good to go and you can do everything that you want to do.
Of course, you can do everything. And in doing everything, Dr. Henry, I mean, having a doctor and also having Gilead Medical and Dental Center, what are we expecting on Saturday? As a doctor, what are you doing?
Okay, so we are moving our clinic to DH1.
How?
Gilead is a faith-based modern medical facility, and we offer general physician care and specialist care as well. We have an eye department, a dental department, and we have a general medical practice with a specialist clinic attached.
Okay.
So we recognize that seeing a patient as a healthy person is not just the absence of disease, but the state of complete physical, spiritual, emotional, and psychological well-being. So we thought that Cheers is a good opportunity to reach out to the corporate client who is our main target.
But Dr. Henry, I'll have to come back to you. I think my viewers need to take a look at this promo. When we come back, the conversation continues right here on GH Today.
Watch out for the biggest health walk and fun games ever. Cheers Walk, coming soon.
Dig the mic, check 1 2. My name is Steve to the Crime. You already know it's all about the Cheers Health Walk and D-Crime. Of course, 100% I support it to the fullest. Fitness is key. Make sure you get your metro on, alright? Because that's what we need to survive. Yeehaw,
Wagwan, forget everybody. This is your boy AMG Medical. Yo, it's all about the Cheers Health Walk with GH1 on the 6th of October. I'll come to Moku.
Cheers Health Walk is proudly brought to you by Salt and Drinks, Vortic Mineral Water, Bull and Wood Merchandise.
What up, it's your boy Shaker. It's all about the Cheers Health Walk, 6th of October. You all for come through, make we walk small, make we fit. Pen and paper, I go there, because you go there, we all go there. Cheers.
Hi guys, it's your girl Stefa, and I'm here to talk about the Cheers Health Talk. You see the way I'm looking at the pillow passionately. You have to be there on the 6th of October. You guys have to come. I'll be there. Everybody's gonna be there. We can't wait to see you.
Cheers Health Walk is proudly brought to you by Salt and Drinks, Vortic Mineral Water, Bull and Wood Merchandise.
Yo, what's up, man? This is the bad man, Magno. I want to invite you guys for the Cheers Health Walk on the 6th of October. Come, let's walk for our health.
Hello, everyone. So this is your girl, Phila McCaffrey, and this is Calipo, Miss Calipo. So on the 6th of October, we're inviting you for what? Cheers Health Walk. Nancy, why? No. Yes. That lose weight, kakra. Cheers.
Cheers Health Walk is proudly brought to you by Salt and Drinks. And of course, after seeing this, you know it's going to be so much fun on Saturday. I can't wait. But we're still talking. And Dr. Henry, before we went for that break, you were saying you're bringing your clinic to GH1 television. I think we need to go over that again. Maybe some of my viewers didn't hear you right.
All right. So, as I said earlier, at Gilead, we offer both general and then specialist services. We have an eye department, a dental department, and then we have our clinics that run a GP and then a specialist clinics as well. So we acknowledge that being healthy is not just the absence of your diabetes and hypertension and your cancers, but you need to have a very good state of mind to be able to be very productive at work. So we see Cheers as an opportunity to tell people that it's not just about staying at home and then when it's time for your reviews, you come. We want to come to you, screen for your hypertension. We want to check your BMI, find out if you are overweight. We give you advice as to what to do to lose weight. If you have to refer you to come to our place to see someone to help you do that, we do that as well. And as part of our activities for the month of October, we are bringing we are coming with a breast clinic as well.
Okay.
So we are going to have free breast screening for our ladies. Don't worry, I won't be doing any screening.
I was about to ask, but there's nothing wrong, you're a doctor.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. So I have very qualified assistants who will help me do that. And then if there are issues where we need to come in, we have doctors that you will consult with as well. So yes, we are bringing our clinic to GH1.
Of course, I'm sure most of the ladies will be very interested in that part. I mean, doctor, handsome doctor. I mean, you have to come. Well, Mr. Salah, CDH Holdings, what are you doing on Saturday?
Well, investment holdings. We are investing into the people on Saturday. We are giving them the money.
Oh,
so we are the cash people. So we are giving them the money and we are sponsoring them for a good health walk. We've been in existence for more than 30 years.
Wow.
And this is not the first time, and this is not going to be the last time. We are going to continue to sponsor this health walk. We are coming on board with a lot of things. So Saturday, I think most of our investments, people, guys who do investment will be around to maybe educate us on investment too. So just watch out for CDH.
But you mentioned a lot of things. I'm sure most of the people watching at home are like, I would want to be part of this. I want to come. Tell them something. Why should they come, especially when CDH Holdings and investment is
well, if you invest in the people, in health, I mean, cash flows. So we believe at CDH, we believe that if the community or the country as a whole is healthy, I mean, when I come to you and I tell you to invest in my company, you will, because you are healthy. So basically what we are doing is not only investing into the people, we are giving out to the society too, so just watch out on Saturday, and I think you'll be thrilled on what we are going to do.
Of course, I'm already excited about that. And coming back to you, Hakeem, yes. I can see we have some of your products here. Absolutely. I can see Sultan, Cola, the Spa, and the oranges.
Yes, and we do also have one more, which is the iced tea, my favorite. And the key ingredients and the key concept of the Sultan drinks is low calories, all natural, and also to pivot on what doctors just said, to be healthy is all about moral and physical wellness, and we want to promote that. My mom always used to say, "Nkwane here." With Nkwa, you come back to investments, right? Sure. So we'll be able to incorporate and work together as a team, and to unveil one of the biggest and the finest products out there. And I hope Ghanaians will be willing to come out. We have special presentations for them. All the stars are going to be out supporting us, and they won't be disappointed. Of course, and will you be given packages, loads of this? Because I would love to take some home, of course, after a good walk. Absolutely. We'll be giving out lots and lots of drinks free, and we actually also have a special presentation and a special price for that one person who gets up early, exercise, comes out with full enthusiasm. You'll be surprised. You get something very rewarding to take home and buy more Sultan with it. All right. Of course, definitely, I'm taking that for EIB. I'm taking all the drink. But Vortic, coming back to you, Vortic, you've been in existence for so many years. Since I was a child, I've been seeing Vortic, and you keep evolving over the years, and it keeps getting absolutely better. But this year, Cheers Health Walk, on the day of the event, Saturday, what are people expecting? Are we getting tons of Vortic to take home?
You said it all. On the day of the event, you're going to get a lot more water, because once you dehydrate, you need water to replenish. So you get a lot more water to drink on that day. We'll set up booths along the path, so that once you are dehydrated and you can't move again, you still can still get some water. Then again, as a business, we've been around, and like you said, we've been around for more than 20 years, and we continue to refresh Ghanaians with quality natural mineral water. The key word is natural mineral water, not just any water, but natural mineral water. What we say is that if you have to choose quality, then drink Vortic. Sure. That's what we believe in. That's why we are coming on.
And of course, that is what GH1 EIB we believe in. We believe in natural stuff, good stuff, everything that's good. We bring it to your doorstep. And on Saturday, one person who will also be here doing some jogging and then all of that, the chinkafa that he's been eating. I'm talking about Redwood, Karim Dini-Osman, everything he's been eating. He has to come back and right here.
You have to mention that on TV.
Because he eats a lot of chinkafa in the morning with Nanamba, so I have to mention it.
I know, and for those who are doubting I have 6 packs, you need to show up on Saturday. Forget about my outfit, you know. You will see the 6 packs on Saturday. But our lovely sponsors are going to refresh you. But also don't forget that you can refresh yourself this morning with special drinks and feel special. I'm talking about the various types that we have. We have special cola, special apple, special strawberry, and of course special energy, ideal for all occasion. You can contact them on 0266 322 321, 0266 322 321.
And yes, on that note, we need to wrap up. Thank you so much, Dr. Henry, Mr. Salah, Kenneth, and also not forgetting Hakeem of Sultan Drinks. Thank you so much. Redwan.
Yeah, and that'll be it for today's edition of the program. We always appreciate your company, and hopefully you make a date with us tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. No celebration, part time for a bench. Hear me now, blessings they come my way. Me on the different lane, cause everything I do, hey. Na Baba Fest. Oh, Nyami Shirami, tell it yes, na Baba Fest. Nyami Shirami, tell it yes, na Baba Fest. Oh, Nyami Shirami, tell it yes.